turn the tide. Today's episode, Theater of War and Peace. Karl Marx was noted saying, "The oppressed are allowed once every few years to decide which particular representatives of the oppressing class are to represent and repress them. Let the ruling classes tremble at a communistic revolution. The proletarians have nothing to lose but their chains and have a world to win." With these words, the world order of eminent established empires saw a rebellion like never before. Class struggle became the ultimate struggle, with money being at the center of it. This had been the primary idea behind the socialist and communist movements in the early 20th century. Throughout the world, a lot of class struggle had been the dominant narrative of the last 100 years and still dominates the mass media, social media sphere today. Much of the conversations revolve around social justice. Who has wronged who has the larger piece of the pie, who works harder, who owes who, how much, to what extent, and why. From this sort of back and forth diatribe, we see some sense of resolutions, but for the most part, it is a cacophony of endless attacks. As we move further into the digital age and embed ourselves into the world and the narrative moves online, the greatest threat comes from the data holders, the data gatherers, which cause data deficiency, information disparity between you as an individual and data agencies. The recent invention, to the extent that it exists today, works invisibly, almost cloaked behind the scene, to help convert your no to a maybe to a perhaps, and a perhaps to a yes. Do you remember the Cambridge Analytica fiasco? Political agendas being passed through data points being used as a form of a resource to help gauge and influence power. Who can be put on the pedestal today? The more you use the system, social media, search engines, or otherwise, the more data points of interests they have. The longer you use the system, the better they know you. Let's imagine. Extrapolate this to 20 more years, 40 more years, 60 more years, and you have a total understanding of your personality and behavioral change. Ironically, you are divorced from that information. They know more about you, how to analyze you, than you know about yourself. Now augment that data with biologically confirmed data points, heart rate, blood pressure. Imagine walking into an airport in the near future, post-corona world of course, with face recognition software measuring your heat levels to ensure that you don't have a fever, measuring your heartbeat when you notice the police or read a particular news. All of this information connected to the cloud that already knows you from day one. Now the digital world can be curated to decisively keep you forever entertained and busy. The 2020 pandemic has acted as a catalyst as we see a rise in GPS-enabled devices to track individuals, and discussions of proof of immunity being added to a passport. If such a law is passed, what type of new technologies will be created? Cameras with heat sensors, connected to GPS tracking devices, all feeding into the giant cloud that knows every little thing about you, which website you read, when, how long you read a particular paragraph, which ads you clicked on, which shoes you bought, how long you walked for, all while reading your facial expressions to better gauge your interests. Did your eyes look at a pair of yellow shoes for a little longer? Well, they're all yours for $99.95, and it's on sale today. The growing disparity in the future is really about what they know about us, resulting in how we see ourselves and each other. It gives data holders and mediums of information transmission such as social media More power to unite, divide, manipulate our feelings, all without us knowing it. This is an incredible amount of power to be able to change a person's personality without them knowing it.